Hello there guys, it's Stephen here, back with another video, and it's a massive sense of deja vu as Manchester City play Southampton for the second time this week at the Etihad. So today we're going to preview this game and run through the opposition news, the team news, the lineups and all that kind of stuff, and try and predict the result. But before I do that, I want to say thank you as ever to the wonderful people over at OneFootball for continuing to sponsor this channel, to continue to be absolutely awesome, continuing to be a great source on Manchester City news, status updates and all that kind of stuff. So go and give it a download in the link in the description below. It's free. It's absolutely excellent. It's a world-class app for a world-class fan base. So go and give it a download. It's brilliant, I promise you. But today, we're going to talk about this game. Now, I think it's fair to say most of us think we're going to win this. It's never as simple as that. But in general, we look at the overview of this. We played them obviously this week. We've been comfortable. We beat them with a few kids out. Their predicament isn't good. They've been battered recently. And our form, I guess, given a recent league defeat, is one of, well, in search of redemption, shall we say. We're obviously close to the international break as well. So I think we'll kind of want to lay down a marker here. And all things point towards City being able to do that, if we're being totally honest. This is a big game. It's a game where we can't really show any weakness. Liverpool have got Aston Villa tomorrow, and they're likely to win that game, if we're being totally honest. And I think we really need to turn up. We really need to show what we can do. We really need to show that we can actually sweep this team aside. And I think we should be able to, if we're being totally honest. In terms of the presser, Guardiola was in decent form. He talked about what he'd learned in the Premier League so far. He said, I'd learned a lot. Before, I was not concerned about long balls and defending channels and set pieces, but I've learned about how to handle the regeneration of players because you have lots of games. He's obviously learned about, you know, the unique life over in England. He talked about the games as well and how many we play. He said, how do we play with bigger squads? Less fixtures, less competitions, more recovery. We played 27 times in the winter time. Always we're talking UEFA meetings, but nothing. I agree with Jurgen Klopp when he makes statements that it's too much. And I think we all agree. I think there is a lot of football and players get injured and tired as a result. He also talked about the youth players. Someone asked, is anyone close to being enrolled in the first team regularly? But right now, Phil Foden. Of course, but Eric Garcia is closer because every time he plays is a high level and he doesn't make mistakes. The other ones, they have to work and work and work. And he got asked as well, does he feel pressured to play them? And he said no. So he said Phil Foden. Then he said Eric Garcia is getting closer as well. In terms of Southampton, he said they play different formations in the game. The last 10-15 minutes they press high. The rest of the game they defend deep. The problem we have in the game is we defend deep. Maybe they change, so I don't know what is going to happen. Basically, he's not going to take Southampton too lightly, which is understandable. In terms of the team news, Guardiola had this to say. He said everybody's fit. Yesterday we trained 2 hours. I think the guys who are injured are still injured, but the guys who are fit are fit. He gave a clearance on the Angelino situation. That we know he played well against Southampton in the week, but he did go down, and we were all fearing yet another full-back injury. But thankfully, it was only cramp. He was just a bit tired, given the lack of football recently. I think that's probably understandable. Which means, I guess, Stones is fine, Mendy's fine, Kevin De Bruyne is fine. All the people you want to be fine are fine. Though obviously it still means the likes of Zinchenko's out, Rodri's out, I guess Sane's out still, obviously. So apart from that, we kind of got the team that we suspect it will be. You know, we kind of know what we've got there, and we've got a decent bunch of players. Basically, we've got no serious injuries other than obviously Rodri, other than Laporte, Rodri, Sane. It's Manchester City life, eh? But let's go on to the 11 and try and pick a team. But we all know it'll be Ederson in goal. It's going to be, I think it'll be Stones and Fernandinho at centre-back. It just makes so much sense. We could see Otamendi come back in, but I don't think we'll see that. I think it will be those two. I think Mendy will come back into the team as well because he obviously had a rest in midweek. I think Joao Cancelo will play at right-back. He had a rest midweek. I think Walker did okay, but Cancelo's currently in vogue, and I think he will play there, and it makes a lot of sense. So back four of Walker. Cancelo. Walker back on the bench. Cancelo, Stones, Fernandinho, and Mendy. I like Angelino personally. I think he's earned the game, but, you know, I don't think it'll happen. Then midfield, I can't really see past Gundogan at number 6. With De Bruyne and David Silva ahead of them. It just seems to make so much sense. I would like to see Foden start, but I think it'll be David Silva and Kevin De Bruyne. And then here on the right, and left will be Sterling. He had a break midweek. It'll definitely be Sterling. On the right, I think it'll be Mahrez. I've got a feeling it'll be Mahrez. It could be Bernardo, of course, but I think it will be. I don't think Bernardo or Mahrez played that great midweek, but I think it'll probably be Mahrez. And then probably be Sergio Aguero through the middle. I think Aguero will start this game, and I think he'll fancy his chances of getting a few more goals with Gabriel Jesus on the bench. Maybe we could see Gabby wide playing as a winger, but I've got a feeling we'll be a little bit more traditional in this game. In terms of the opposition, I have got Matt from the Southampton Delivery. They're linked with the Southampton Page, and he's going to give us some thoughts on this game. Over to Matt.
Hello, Stephen. Thanks for having us on. I just got back in from trick-or-treating with the kids. I didn't see any Raheem Sterlings, didn't see any Kevin De Bruynes, no David Silvas or anybody like that. No Nathan Redmonds either, but plenty of Angus Guns. At least that's what I thought until I asked him. Turns out they're just clowns. So anyway, from a Saints perspective, there were no optimistic Saints fans out there at this moment. I think everybody is a little bit shell-shocked after what happened last week against Leicester City. We can only hope that when we travel up to the Etihad that the road form will kind of take form or take hold a little bit. We'll play a bit better. We'll put in a performance, and I think that will be enough to satisfy most people. You look at the run of matches that we've had and that we do have, it's not kind. So if we make it through this with manager and players intact, I think we'll actually be coming out ahead based on maybe just a couple of positive performances here and there. So if we take it close and come out with a loss anyway, I think that'll be okay. Obviously be much better than last week at home. The cup final or the cup match, not the greatest, but a big improvement. So we'll see what happens in the league this week. In terms of personnel, the manager doesn't know who's going to play in goal, whether it's Angus Gunn, whether it's Alex McCarthy. Either one will probably be busy. We would imagine that you, as Manchester City, would set out some sort of attacking lineup to run at our shaky back line, and we will see kind of how that goes. So in front of the goalkeeper, whoever that happens to be, I would imagine it would be Jan Valery on the right, Jan Bednarak at right center back, Maya Yoshida in the middle, Yannick Vestergaard at left center back, and probably Kevin Danzo playing at the left wing back spot, even though he's a center back. The only other person who could go over there would be the captain, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, but hopefully he's playing in central midfield next to Oriol Romeu and probably James Ward-Prowse. I would imagine it would be some form of maybe either Che Adams and Nathan Redmond or Nathan Redmond and Danny Ings up top, because I imagine we'll have to play on the counterattack a little bit. So I would like maybe a little bit more creativity there, but this probably isn't the match to try that. So I imagine we'll try to hit you on the break, try to take a few chances, and really just try to limit yours. But that's something that you guys have been really good at. So I'm not feeling all that confident at the moment. But like I said, the fans are going to be expecting a performance, some effort, some passion, playing for the badge, not your name on the back, and all of that stuff. So if that happens and we lose, I think we'll all be okay. But that's probably what we're looking for and probably what we're hoping for in his best case scenario. So anyway, thanks so much. If you want to follow along on our page, you can do that. My name is Matt Markson. I run the Southampton Delivery podcast, but the guys over at the Southampton Page are the partners of the show. So at Southampton Page on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, that's who you should go and follow if you're interested in Southampton content or you have friends who maybe like Southampton stuff. Southampton Page is where you should go. So anyway, thanks so much for having us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Matt there going in two-footed on Angus Gunn. He's had a mare. I love Angus Gunn. I think he'll be a very good goalkeeper, but he hasn't had a good time at Southampton at the moment. I think he's right that it isn't great for Southampton currently, and he's probably right to be cautious, but he's also probably right to be a little bit optimistic and hope that he's seen the worst already and hope that they'll get better. And I think all logic dictates that they'll put in a better performance than they did against Leicester. Their form isn't great if we look at the results recently. Now obviously they got lost to us 3-1 in midweek. They didn't really do anything other than defend. They lost against Leicester 9-0. They did draw against Wolves, which is not a bad result. They get battered by Chelsea 4-1. They got beat by Spurs 2-1. They did win in the League Cup against Portsmouth for that. It's Portsmouth. They got beat by Bournemouth 3-1 in the league. They did beat Sheffield United and they drew against Man United. But once again, that wasn't much of an achievement really these days, if we're being honest. And they beat Brighton as well. Lost to Liverpool. They're not like a terrible team, really. They're just in a bad patch. I mean, they're currently sat in 18th with only 8 points. I mean, they could easily get out of trouble with a little bit of confidence. And they have got some decent players, They are missing a couple of people. I think Redmond's out. I'm pretty certain Redmond is suspended. No, he's not. Redmond's fine. Redmond. I'm thinking of Bertrand. Bertrand is suspended. Redmond has a doubt with a knee injury, but I'm sure he'll play. They have got Genepo, and Suarez are both out injured. But they've got some decent players. They've got Ward-Prowse. They've got Ings. He's the kind of guy who scores against City. Romeu, Vestergaard. They've got players, basically. You can cause other teams problems if you don't defend well. Having said that, if we go on to the prediction, This is Manchester City, and we've got a pretty strong team at the moment. You know, we're obviously missing some key players, but we've got a team that is more than capable of scoring plenty of goals against Southampton. I'm not going to say we absolutely destroy them, but if City come out with the right energy and the right purpose and right professionalism, I can't really see past the Manchester City win. I think there'll be... I think it'll be one of those games where we go in 1-0 at half time and then we see a landslide in the second half and we get to like 5-0, something like that. Despite some frustrating moments of Southampton, who are trying to prove a point in front of their fans, I'd be happy with that though. Obviously, who wouldn't be happy with that? It'd be a perfectly good score against a team that aren't as bad, I don't think, as they currently look like they are. That is just my prediction. I think they'll go around 5-0. They might score. Who knows? Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised because we aren't great defensively at the moment. I expect Edison will make a save or two. But guys, that is my preview of the game, really. Let me know what you think of the prediction, the team, how you'll line up and all kind of stuff. Big thanks to Matt as well for jumping on the video. Go and check them out in the link in the description below. Go down on What Football, subscribe, comment, like, and I'll see you soon.